standing, let us take the national anthem. Standing for the opening prayers. In love and honesty to grow, and leading just and true, great lofty heights attain, to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign. Amen. Amen. Please resume your seats. Good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first summit of eGovernment widely hosted by the Association of Nigeria in collaboration with the Financial System Studies. We will listen to the welcome address, but permit me to take a few minutes to introduce the special guest and the distinguished lady and gentlemen in the front row. We just received the Executive Governor of Anambra State. He will be speaking to us in the course of this event, and perhaps we will introduce him more formally. But right in front is the special guest, Willie Obiano. Thank you very much, sir, for honoring the invitation and gracing this occasion. And sitting by his left is a woman regarded in the country as the Lady of Information Technology. At the moment, she is serving as the Permanent Secretary of the Office of the Secretary of the Government of the Federation as AMSEC Political Affairs. Would you please warmly welcome Mrs. Ibuku Otishata. And on the right of His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Anambra State, is a very, very popular face and an important member of the CDM family. I'm happy to announce that Alhaji Suleiman Barao, himself the Deputy Governor of the Central Bank, is here and representing the Governor of the Central Bank. Please put your hands together for him. Now, on the immediate right of the Deputy Governor, I'm not going to get this control order, but we do have in our midst the Director General of SMEDAN. SMEDAN is a critical member of this key stakeholder event, and part of the work they do depend heavily on technology. I'm happy to announce this morning the presence of Mr. Patrick Umar Masari. I've been informed that he's also the sponsor of the event. Thank you for your support. And I'd like to ask you to applaud him for his generosity. I'm not done with the gentlemen of government. I do have, sitting at the far right, my far right, that is, the representative of the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Communication Technology, himself the Director of eGovernment Department. Please put your hands together for Engineer Tope. Forgive me, I shortened his name to Tope because he has an interesting but longish native name that I do not want to murder. I attempted to pronounce it. So Tope is familiar, so I say Tope. And sitting next to him is the representative of the Permanent Secretary to the Ministry of Finance. I'm happy to ask you at this moment to put your hands together for Mr. Abdullah Gabriel. Now, it won't be all public sector. We do have a strong member from the private sector. He is the President and Chairman of Council of the Association of Small and Medium Enterprises. That's where the jobs are. That's where e-services are critical. Please warmly welcome Alhaji Garba Yusuf. Thank you, sir, for accepting this honor and invitation for coming this morning. We will make progress. Notice I didn't give you any welcome speech. The burden will be discharged in a moment by the coordinator, in a sense, of this event. He's chaired all the meetings, all of them, that I attended. I'm happy, therefore, to invite to this podium the head program office on the financial system strategy, Engineer Oluwatoyi Joko. The
Governor of Anambra State, the representative of the Governor of the Central Bank, the Deputy Governor of Operations, and the coordinator of the FSX 2020, the Permanent Secretary, Political Affairs, the Office of the Secretary of the Government of the Federation, Mrs. Oluwatoyi, the Director General of Sweden, the representatives of the Permanent Secretaries of Finance and Communication Technology Ministries. And I also know that we have the representative of the Director General of NITDA in the House. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I have the singular honor and privilege to welcome all of you on behalf of the coordinator, the Deputy Governor of Operations, who is wearing several caps this morning, and I've yielded one of it to me, just to say you are welcome. Thank you, and have a very good deliberations here.
Thank you, Engineer Joko, for the short welcome. Joko will be speaking a little while later this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, eGovernment, in that institution, Mr. Benewa. Would Mr. Benewa come forward and take a seat in the front row? I have just a few seats left in the front, and I will offer the other one at the front to the representative of the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Lands and Housing, Mr. George Isi. Oh, no, I think it's Reverend Nabanjo, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, please just move forward. Could you please applaud the Permanent Secretary representative? There are a number of important dignitaries here some of who are picking the bills at this event, and I have just about 20 minutes for that segment. I will 21 minutes, that is. And I will have to divide this amongst the speakers. There are 7 of them. So I'll offer my first 3 minutes to the... Now, I have to be sure they're actually even...
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please permit me to say all protocols duly observed. With all due respect, my name is Gabriel Aduda. I work for the Ministry of Finance, and this morning I'm privileged to be representing my PAMSEC in this very awesome summit, which we think is extremely important. Whose whose time has not only come, but we think it's already becoming overdue for us to be part of what is happening globally. In recent times, we used to say the world is becoming a global village. And for you to be able to compete, you need to effectively prepare. You need to effectively catch up with what is happening in the world system, or the world order, if you like. But today, we have gone beyond that, and the world has already become a global village. And what defines your space that you occupy as a nation, as an entity, is a function of what you are able to contribute, what you are able to bring into the marketplace. That defines who you are, what you are, and the profiting you are able to draw therefrom. E-government is something that no one can afford to leave or to stay out of. And as such, a lot of measures have been taken in recent times to ensure that Nigeria as a nation also takes its place, plays its part, and then reforms its systems such that they are e-governance compliant. The bottom line being the need to achieve effectiveness, efficiency, transparency, and accountability in the way government does its business and in the way it deals with clients and all that. Now, several initiatives have been put in place, and permit me to very quickly just mention a few of them from the Federal Ministry of Finance that we have tried to put in place to ensure that we're able to carry along or to play along in this new order. First, we have the Government Integrated Financial and Management Information System. The GIFMIS, a lot of us know about it. It's a program, a program of accounting that is geared towards achieving centralization, achieving centralized control, strengthening internal controls as well, and minimizing opportunities for fraud, at the same time improving transparency. We know that in the times past, most of government accounts were domiciled in several banks. Issues of remittance, delays, and all manner of things created several windows for leakages. Well, these we have tried to block in recent times with the introduction of GIFMIS. Also, the Treasury Single Account, which is a centralized payment system where a designated account is used for receipts and payments of government, has also been put in place, and that is domiciled with the CBN. This practice has greatly improved public financial management in Nigeria, and so far we have indeed seen very huge profits and savings from what would otherwise have been lost in transit. Also, we have the integrated personnel and payroll information systems. This is basically aimed at automation of personnel and payroll systems, which the government has worked at recently. And as you all know, we were able to weed out a number of ghost workers, and was able to save government several billions of naira in the process. Also, IPSAS, a set of accounting standards issued by the International Accounting Standards Board, is also aimed at cleaning up the system, ensuring standardization in the way things are done in accounting. And all that is also aimed at achieving the 4 basic objectives of e-governance and service delivery. Now, integrated financial and economic management system is something that the ministry is presently working on. And what that is intended to do is to be able to pull together economic and financial data such that we're able to have data concerning specifics on real time. A number of ministries, departments, and agencies have already been taken on, and templates have already been designed. The CBN has come on that, the NBS, and quite a number. And the whole idea is that at the click of a button, we should be able to have access to information. Unlike now where bureaucracy takes you, you write a letter, and then you wait for another 3 months, 4 months, and you don't get a reply. Now, e-governance is all aimed at shortening these processes, making the system a bit more transparent, making it more accountable, ensuring that things are done in real time, and the like. Now, unfortunately, because of time, I will not be able to tell you so much that finance is doing at this point. But our major aim here today is just to say a very big thank you, to appreciate what is happening here. Thank the organizers once again, the CBN, the FSS, 2020, the EPAN, and whoever else has contributed in making this possible, to say we think this is an idea whose time is long overdue, and also to hope that at the end of these 2 days that we will come up with ideas, come up with initiatives, come up with concrete things that we can further get out there to put in place to ensure that governance is further enhanced and service delivery further made available in real time to the people. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Aduda, for the short speech, and representing the Minister of Finance very well. I didn't hear any pledges about the support we've done in series. So I hope that the Ministry will accept our further invitations and requests for sponsorship. Thank you. I will make a few more introductions, but I will try and keep this brief so we can make quick progress with the rest of the items in the program. And that is the NDIC. NDIC is among our most important sponsors. I want to ask the representative of the Managing Director to please come forward and deliver the goodwill message at this time. Please put your hands together for him as he comes. That's 120 seconds.
He has taken some seconds out of this 2 minutes. I wish to stand on the well-established existing protocols. I'm Dr. J. Ade Afolabi, representing my Managing Director, Mr. Umaru Ibrahim Menai, who is unavoidably absent due to exigencies of service, and he has sent his apologies. Let me just take the 2 minutes to read his address. It is my pleasure and honor to address this gathering of eminent personalities and professionals who are here for the 2-day eGovernment Summit with the theme eGovernment, Key to Sustainable Development. It is evident that Nigeria as a nation is confronted with a wide range of developmental challenges, among which is the low depth of use of information technology in running the affairs of the country. This is also reflected in the low ranking index it gets in various international surveys, despite being reputed to be the most lucrative and fastest growing telecommunication and information and communication technology market in Africa. As we all are aware, the benefits of e-government are too numerous for any nation with developmental vision to overlook. There is no doubt that the adoption of e-government in the country will lead to, among others, improved efficiency, increase in transparency and accountability of government functions, convenient and faster access to government services, and lower cost of administrative services. I guess the above benefits underscore the theme for this summit. Like in most developing countries, there are obvious constraints to effective e-government implementation in Nigeria. Some of these barriers include reluctance to share information, low information technology literacy, insufficient resources to implement e-government policy, usual apathy to embrace change, and uneven distribution of internet access, amidst others. Luckily, the FSS 2020 and the Financial Services Regulation Authority Committee, FRSCC platforms provide the necessary opportunity for us to move forward as a nation and for us to achieve our mission to drive rapid and sustainable economic growth, primarily in Nigeria and Africa. I believe the experimentation of e-government can start with all the implementing institutions under the auspices of FSS 2020. We at Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation have invested enormous resources in technology and will be willing to collaborate on any initiative that is brought on board for implementation by the FSS 2020 and FSRCC. The technical session of the program, I understand, will address some of these issues on a sector-by-sector basis. It is my hope that the outcome of the session will be well documented and utilized for effective e-government policy framework for the benefit of the nation. Once again, thank you very much for this opportunity.
Busy and fast. But I close my eyes to the timing because NDIC paid handsomely for this event. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you for applauding. So you could have had another minute if you wanted. I wouldn't have stopped you. Okay, and we'll take the next one. And I've also been signaled to offer the DG of SNEDAM 2 minutes, but I will decide whether to close my eyes to the timing or not. Let us please welcome onto the podium Mr. Bature Masare, the DG SNEDAM.
Thank you, MC. Your Excellency, the Elected Governor of Anambra State and the Deputy Governor of CBN, the PANSEC, political officer of the SGF and other permanent secretaries are represented. My chairman, the chairman of small and medium enterprises in the country, other distinguished personalities here present. I want to wish all of us well and pray that the outcome of the summit is going to impact positively on the life of our dear country, Nigeria. The summit all of us are attending here today is very, very timely because Nigeria is facing very serious and hard times currently. And any Nigerian with ideas that will make governance better for every Nigerian is highly welcome. And that is why I'm delighted to stand here before you to say my good message. We know all of us here are authorities in their own right, and it is timely for Nigeria to embrace the concept of e-government because it is now entering all over the world. The developed countries are able to develop because of innovations in the way they manage their affairs, and Nigeria is now beginning to key into global best practices. And e-government in Nigeria, I know, is going to play a very important role in making government very, very efficient, blocking leakages in the area of financial management and ensuring efficiency in the our things. And that can only make Nigeria better for everybody. On this note, I want to wish all of us well once again and pray that the outcome of the summit is going to be key in making Nigeria great for the benefit of everybody. Thank you.
Fantastic delivery spot on 2 minutes. Please put your hands together again for the DG of SNEDAM. For saving me the trouble of having to walk up here to stop it. Thank you, sir, for the brevity. We will now give the next 2 minutes to the Director General of the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA. The head of eGovernment in that agency is here to speak for them. Please put your hands together for Ben Ewa.
Good morning. Permit me to also stand on existing protocols. I think we all agree that 2015 has been a defining year for Nigeria. And our gathering here today testifies to the fact that we're all hungry and desirous to seize the moment. Now I'm going to talk about 3 promises which I think that eGovernment holds. One of them is the fact that eGovernment is going to help us strengthen public institutions. We are also aware that the stronger our public institutions are, the more likely they'll be more accountable, more dependable individuals, both in the public and private sector. The government is also going to help us to enhance the ethos of civic responsibility. As the technology continues to democratize productive means, it provides enormous resources to individuals, companies, to engage in public services. Indeed, I personally believe that we need billions of Nigerians in public office and fewer people in public office. So, I mean public service and fewer people in public office. And that's what technology help us to do. Lastly, technology is also helping us to grow a vibrant SME base. The continued democratization of the productive means, which I mentioned a little bit earlier, is helping us to break barriers, open new possibilities in terms of business opportunities for our young population. So these are some of the ideals and targets which we expect from the National eGovernment Plan, which the Ministry of Communication Technology is driving, and we are fortunate to be partners in implementing. Thank you very much and welcome, and I wish all of us a very successful deliberation. Thank you.
Representative of NIDA, again keeping to time, and I'd like to ask you to applaud him a second time for his brevity. Thank you. I'm tempted to ask you to indulge me to just recognize one more institution and offer him my last 2 minutes. Is the representative of the managing director of Galaxy Backbone, Mr. Frank Ubodare. His size alone entitles him to make that presentation. I can't ignore him. Please come forward.
Your Excellency, the Governor of Anambra State, please, with all due respect, I'm not going to stand on existing protocols. I don't want to take advantage of Kema's largesse, but hopefully I might be able to borrow 1 minute from MDIC. I'm here to present Yusuf Kazawi. He's the Managing Director. My name is Frank. I'm Group Head for Customer Operations and Services. I think the key thing to say today, and I'm going to read the prepared speech, I promise. The key thing to say today is we're going to hear about the what of eGovernment. What is eGovernment? And a lot of discourse will happen. But we may also hear about the how. Galaxy is about the how. And Galaxy is about putting 2 critical components in place. One is connectivity, the other is a government cloud. The government cloud encapsulates every device or technology that is required to process, store, and retrieve data. So those 2 components are what Galaxy is about. And our approach to doing that is what the United Nations call the whole of government approach. The whole of government approach is an integrated way to do so and ensure that public service agencies, public sector agencies are fully integrated in terms of their information systems at the back end, and that citizens have a single channel of access to government services online. And I think to a large extent, this is what the e-government agenda of the country is all about. So I will also take maybe 30 more seconds on the benefits of that approach. There are 3 major ones. First, you achieve economies and efficiencies of scale because you don't build in silos. So resources can be pooled and used more efficiently. Second, you achieve information security and data sovereignty. Now, we may not be used to data sovereignty, but believe me, it's the next big issue of relevance. you will become your data. Every country will become its data. We have to have a way of doing so and keeping the data in this country, irrespective of what. The last, of course, I mentioned is the fact that government agencies need to work hand in hand. There needs to be interoperability, and there needs to be a common interface for citizens to access government services. Once again, let me thank the organizers and Kema for his largesse. Thank you very much.
Frank was smart, but we won't give him all of another applause, please. But he's made his point, so thank you, Frank, for being smart enough to steal all these points into a short presentation. I have been asked to stop the Google messages, but I will disobey that order. Usually when I have the microphone, I get a bit nutty, and I apologize to the distinguished gentlemen and lady in the front seat and the executive governor. These two people will speak for less than 6 minutes, less than 5 minutes, less than 4 minutes actually. But they are paying, they're picking the bills, so it's good for us to recognize them. The Vice President, Government Services and Solutions, Sub-Saharan Africa for MasterCard, Paul Swine, will take my next 2 minutes to give a good message. Will Paul please come forward, and the time starts now. Whoever asked Paul to sit at the back didn't do him any favor. Paul has 1.5 minutes. And the other speaker who should be getting ready is the Director Government Relations, Visa, West Africa, Ulua Bankole family, will speak after Paul. Please get ready. Come forward, Paul. It's a chance to pledge for the donations for next year. You can extend your time.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency. It is a privilege to be amongst our government and industry partners as this year's EPAN Government Summit. Many businesses approach Africa and say Africa needs us. And then they treat Africa as a charity case. Or they look at the continent and say we need Africa. And then they treat it as an opportunity. The mere business case. Our approach at MasterCard is different. The answers are within. Africa needs Africa. And our job is to facilitate and ignite change. And this has been our approach in Nigeria as it has been across the continent. In Nigeria, we are focused on creating an ecosystem to address both financial access and usage challenges. There is no single stakeholder in the value chain that can do so. Part of the ecosystem is a critical link, SMEDA, the micro, small, and medium business. This is the lifeblood of any economy. It is in this critical business sector that we cannot afford for them not to be financially inclusive in the ecosystem. So the DG of SMEDA, they are a very good thermometer for taking the country's blood pressure. Last week, I participated in the Alliance for Financial Inclusion workshop in Ivory Coast, which brought together policymakers and other stakeholders to understand how all can work together and use technological breakthroughs to bring the unbanked and underbanked into the economic mainstream. Our approach across the continent has been exactly this, to work hand in hand with our partners, whether they are developing payment policies or accepting one of our payment solutions. The importance of these gatherings is critical to the development of a shared vision of a cashless Africa, one that is financially inclusive and supports opportunities for business owners to thrive for citizens. During the course of today and tomorrow, we will be highlighting some of the work we are doing across Africa. Thank you. Thank you. I look forward to an energetic discussion over the next few days. Thank you.
All saw the concern in my face, and we ended at the right time. But we'll have all for the rest of the day, and even tomorrow you'll have a chance to enlighten us more on what Smart Card does. We do need you to stay back and enrich discussions as we go on. So, ladies and gentlemen, I really do have to stop after Falode has taken a minute and a half to speak to us. He's coming from Visa. Is he ready? Thank you very much. Please put your hands together for him.
Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellency. I would also like to stand on the existing protocols. Visa would like to congratulate IPAN on this occasion, the 2015 eGovernment Summit, the first of its kind in Nigeria. The theme of this year's summit, eGovernment, key to sustainable development, cannot be overemphasized. Our experience at Visa, at the over 200 countries and territories where we have operations, show that electronic payments and governance remain strong pillars to sustainable development. Therefore, if we want a sustainable Nigeria, then we strongly believe that the time is right for this particular summit. We would like to pledge our support and reiterate all our assurances to IPAN, the central bank, all stakeholders present, that at Visa we will continue to support and strengthen the electronic payments ecosystem in Nigeria. We would also like to send our best wishes, and we look forward to the conclusion of a successful summit. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Falode. Thank you for applauding him. We will move fast. I will now go into the program highlights, and I have just 3 minutes for that segment. And I want to invite the president of the Electronic Payment Providers Association of Nigeria, Macaulay Atasio. 3 minutes for Macaulay. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Anambra State, Chief Willie Magabuchukwu Obiano, the Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, all other dignitaries here present, and all protocols observed. My job is twofold. One, to explain to us the character of this organization called IPAN that has put together this event working with FSS 2020. I guess somebody else will come and talk to us about FSS 2020, which I was also part of, with the Deputy Governor from the beginning, 2006 to put it together. But I guess that's what we do. But my story is about IPAN, and the second leg is about today's event, so that we have today and tomorrow, so that we have an idea of how the days will run. So the starting point is on IPAN. Okay, maybe somebody will help me move it. Next slide. Right. Now, IPAN stands for E-Payment Providers Association of Nigeria. It is a non-profit organization. It can make profits, but it cannot distribute the profits. And to keep running into heaven, into forever, it has to be making profit. So I hope that this process of creating value in these and other values will continue, supported by the entire industry. So it's a non-profit organization representing the Nigeria e-payment industry and its body stakeholders with a holistic, result-oriented approach to driving the growth of e-payment industry in Nigeria. E-payment is new. I think 2001 or thereabouts, we came up with a vision for e-payment in Nigeria, which gave back to lots of things. And I think that vision is being pushed every day, as it were. Now, e-payment, EPAN came up there, I think 4 years ago or 5 years ago, to help the industry begin to talk together because everybody was doing his own thing. So we therefore said, let's come and say we are not industry players ourselves, but we can make the industry talk to themselves, talk to the regulator, and then find ways to make things move forward consistently. So we had to create a vision. The current vision, which the stakeholders, and the stakeholders include all the players in the industry, InterSwitch, NIPS, eTransact, banks. The central bank supports us from the beginning. They are not members, but there is a key support, and as you will see, various other parties are beginning to lend their weight behind this organization that has taken on its own to push e-payments, e-government, e-transactions to the next level in Nigeria. So we said to become the most authoritative and respected industry forum for promoting e-payment and self-service business in Nigeria. The self-service here is technology-based self-service. So how do we make sure that most of the transactions and activities that we carry out in Nigeria are carried out through an e-platform? That's what this organization has set out to do for itself. The second important thing I want to point out is that EPAN has a mandate from ECOWAS to replicate our success to other West African states. So they've appreciated what we've done, and then we're going to work with ECOWAS to do that. And we're also working with a South African organization called SABRIC, the Central Bank of Nigeria, to provide a platform for protecting all e-payment users, because risk management is central to what happens in that sector. I think the rest are details of government to person, person to person, person to government, business to government, etc. Things that I'm sure all of us in this room are aware of. Now let me talk about what will happen today, tomorrow. It will take me 1 minute to do that. I believe we all have copies of the agenda. So after these formalities, I believe what happens between now and when His Excellency speaks is to let us have a view, overall view of what we get out of here. And after that, there will be a lot of presentations that we'll hear that will expose us to knowledge. Remember, knowledge is power. So between today and tomorrow, you have technical session 1 that will focus on payment systems, technical session 2 that will focus on the mortgage sector, we'll have one on pension, we'll have one on financial inclusion, the SME sector, the insurance sector, the agricultural sector. So we're going to have technical sessions in all of these that will help each of us in an area that we're interested in to deepen. Each of these requires a special background, but they will use the same protocols, and that's why we all need to talk together to see how the same standards will be created, but everybody focusing on his or her own area of expertise to make money and then move e-government, e-payment, and all the e-type of platforms to the next level in Nigeria. Thank you very much, and welcome.
I really would like to apologize to speakers for my high-handedness, but I do really need to keep things on track. We would like to give the distinguished people on the front row, the executive government especially, some time to speak to us before he leaves to attend to issues of public service. Let me offer some time now to the Permanent Secretary, who is actually the custodian of the National e-Government Program for the country. Dr. Tunji Alaba, incidentally, has sent the Director of e-Government to present the paper on the National e-Government Master Plan. But as the speaker at the opening ceremony, we would like to ask for highlights of that master plan. So I have just 10 minutes for the presentation. If Engineer Tobe would please come forward and use these 10 minutes to speak for the Permanent Secretary. Please applaud Engineer Tobe.
doesn't like my 10 minutes back.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. His Excellency, Dr. Chief eGovernment, Permanent Secretary, Mrs. Bishop, Central Bank, and I stand on all of that existing protocol. I'm here to represent the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Communication Technology, to give a rundown, I don't know if you saw, of the Nigerian eGovernment Master Plan. So the essence of this talk is actually to say that it's not like nothing has been happening on eGovernment, a lot has been going on. I'm waiting for the, I have actually some slides to show why I present it. So I'll try to, the Permanent Secretary has a prepared address. I'll read it, because that's what he said here to do, while trying to go through the slide as it relates to the talk. So, definitions. Yes, a lot of experts are in this room, but I'm sure there are also some people who may be new to this whole thing we're talking about. There are several definitions for e-government, and we'll give a few here. Generally, e-government can be defined as the use of information communication technology as a tool to facilitate improved service delivery between government and its customers. Customers here refer to citizens, registered businesses, foreigners, governments. Government also relates with other governments, states, local government, even agencies within government. So all this interrelationship is what we refer to as government and its customers. The United Nations defines e-government as the utilization of internet and the World Wide Web for delivering government information and services to citizens. The European Union has a definition that we'd like to identify with. This is not The European Union defines e-government as the reskilling, retooling of public sector has to be done as we begin to introduce or adopt e-government in the running of government affairs. Some background. It's a well-established fact. Okay, so I already went through the definitions. Some of the benefits for e-government is improved public administration, enhanced transparency and accountability, efficiency in service delivery, cost savings, improved economic development, growth of the ICT sector as a whole, leading to generation of employment opportunities. In recognition of these benefits and to encourage countries to aspire to good e-government practices, the United Nations Department for Economic and Social Affairs has published the UN E-Government Development Index since 2003. Over the years, empirical evidence from the biannual survey has established the fact that there is a direct correlation between national income of the country and the level of e-government development. The income level of the country is a general indicator of economic capacity and progress, and thus a strong influence on national e-government development. Vice versa, the e-government development level of the country is a general indicator of transparency, efficiency, and quality of public service, and thus has a strong impact on national economic growth through ICT industry promotion and job creation. So, if you I was looking for the point. Nigeria is somewhere at the bottom. We already have 0.4. Cannot be crossed. Now, if you expand that, you see where Nigeria is at the bottom somewhere. So the point we're trying to make is this direct correlation. If the country's GDP is growing and is properly applied towards e-government to improve election transparency, it will further drive the economy of the country forward along that direct correlation. That's what we've established over the years. This is a study that has been carried out. So the mutually reinforcing relationship can be strategically harnessed to help Nigeria improve its economy while also ensuring pervasive development across the country. In recognition of these advantages, past administrations made a number of attempts to implement e-government programs through various NDAs. In 2003, for instance, the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa sponsored the National Information Communication Technology for Development Plan in collaboration with NICDA. This major activity could have set the appropriate foundation for e-government in Nigeria, but it
didn't happen for a number of reasons. The plan took too long to come, and so on and so forth. We also had about 4 policy support unit teams that were made up of members drawn across MDAs and some private sector representatives. And we also had the joint consultative team, which was essentially a technical team of people, and they formed the nucleus of the delegations in preparing the document. Organization of several stakeholder meetings and workshops involving various relevant public and private sector organizations, targeted interviews and site visits to about 30 organizations as well as a few state governments, administration of interview questionnaires to several other areas that could not be physically visited, and then benchmarking. We looked at case studies from countries like Korea, Kenya, South Africa, USA, Finland, and the like. The eGovernment Master Plan factored various issues like legal systems, organizational framework, services, human resources development, awareness, and infrastructure. The master plan itself is focused on 3 phases. The pre-implementation phase, which involves political leaders, sensitization and awareness, environmental scanning, and benchmarking. The implementation phase will involve visioning and setting of strategic goals, identifying strategic priorities based on bottom-up, top-down, as well as stakeholder analysis. We had an assist analysis to establish exactly where we were at the time, and we put it to B model, which we're trying to achieve. Now we'll be moving soon to the post-implementation phase, monitoring and evaluation, operation and maintenance and feedback systems. Also, to ensure that we came up with a good design, the underlying mindset of the people that participated was to think big, start small, and to scale fast. In thinking big, it was required to set an overall vision that objective of the eGovernment of Nigeria, and to start small, to essentially to create instant successes that could be celebrated, essentially low-hanging fruits, to keep the positive drive there, and to scale fast. But in scaling fast, we'll ensure that we hopefully will have the necessary resources that will be available. Bottlenecks are already identified and will be resolved as we go along, and the project will be aligned to the government of the vision of the government of the day. In the final analysis, we hope to have, these are some of the things I'm talking about. This is where we hope to arrive at. Our vision is a world-class open government that will be based on transparency, efficiency, and quality of service. The objective is that in the course of implementation, we expect to move from enhanced presence, which is basically having good websites that communicate information, to transactional presence, where people can actually transact business with government, pay for services and the like, fill out forms, get answers. And finally, to connected presence, where government, irrespective of where they are, whether state level agencies can actually interact and move seamlessly with eGovernment. The ultimate goal, therefore, is to have a transparent, competent, and services-oriented government based on virtues of openness, sharing, communication, and collaboration. To achieve this, the eGovernment Master Plan has identified 5 core policy initiatives, 10 clear strategies, and about 25 eGovernment project initiatives that will be embarked upon immediately. While the ministry continues to carry out its statutory functions as stipulated in the mandate, we are yet to begin the full implementation of this eGovernment Master Plan as it is currently awaiting the Federal Executive Council approval, adoption as a national e-government strategy. So in line with this, we are happy that a summit like this is coming up, and the Ministry of Information Technology will continue to collaborate with other like-minded people, because really the essence of achieving all these laudable things we are talking about is pulling in the same direction. Once we're pulling in the same direction, we will achieve the economies of scale, we'll be able to tap into the positive correlation with the GDP that we spoke about, and everybody, the economy will be lifted up at the same time. Thank you very much.
I feel like a headmaster, but I apologize anyway to the speakers that I have to shorten their times. We do have a lot of presentations, and I was shooting for 12 noon. I have about 35 minutes to 12 noon. I will still further cut the times for other speakers, and I apologize ahead of time. And as if they were reading my mind, the gentleman at the controls had brought up Ms. Odushote's presentation. Will they bring it up now? Because she is next in line. She was speaking on exploiting ICT for efficient government and for efficient service delivery to citizens. As she makes her way to the podium, please put your hands together for her. She's got 10 minutes. Thank you very much.
Executive Governor of Anambra State, the Deputy Governor of Operations Central Bank of Nigeria, all other highly distinguished persons here present, ladies and gentlemen of the press. I remember in 1994, I faced a crowd like this of professionals, IT professionals, and I was telling them that the time is coming when your complimentary card with a PO box, whatever, Gariki, Abuja, will be useless to me if it doesn't have an email address, if it doesn't have a URL. And now you are not just talking about URL, you are not talking about email address, you talk about Twitter handle, you talk about all kinds of things that you must have on a card before that card is useful. I'm quite glad that some years later, people that thought that, skeptics that thought that that wasn't going to happen, it didn't take a while before you would observe that if you don't actually have an email address, you're on your own. I hope there are no people here without email addresses. And particularly, I'm looking at exploiting ICT for efficient government and service delivery to citizens. In doing that, I also want to recall a number of things that have happened in the ICT industry. The ICT sector had evolved over the years as technology also evolved. I studied computer science in the best university in this country. That's the University of Ife. I purposely did this because you're all looking at me as if I wasn't speaking to human beings in Nigeria. I know the moment I say that some people are going to laugh and going to giggle. When we started talking about computers and we went into the computer room, I don't know if there are some of you that would remember that we had to wear an overall. We went into the computer center as if we were going into a surgery theater. We had computers that filled this kind of rooms.